Welcome to In Today's Timeline. 2021 was a great year for us, but we're going to do some improvements for 2022. So we'll be a little more consistent with episode releases, so check us out every Sunday from now on. First comic of the year that I'll be reviewing, DC versus Vampires.
Three,
yep. So the interactions of the JLA members and Batman is pretty funny, especially with Green Lantern being the bad guy, and Batman just doesn't trust anyone at all. I like all the little small groups that are being formed. Like you get all the Robins and you get all the Bat Kids kind of thing, and the Arsenal, Green Arrow, and Black Canary. They have some pretty funny interactions, and I kind of dislike the way Superman's face looks. He's never really seemed that, but it's not a straight Superman book, so I get that. And then who's the villain? I just want to know who the big villain is. It can't be Green Lantern, so that's it for me.
Yeah, so next issue is expected. Issue 4 of DC vs. Vampires is when it's expected to know who the new leader of the Vampires is. The one thing that Franco did not know in this issue is we have at least one new vampire hero, Zatanna, who is quite powerful on her own, and now she's a vampire. That gives them basically the power to teleport anywhere that they want. She can teleport, she can bring things to her, she can just locate things. And then Wonder Woman could be a villain. This is where we disagreed. I don't think she's a vampire.
I definitely think that the panel is just so misleading because it seems like there might be a little drop of blood, but Justin's like, there's no way that you can pierce her skin.
Yeah, I don't think he can pierce her skin, but...
So yeah, we'll see there. Is she fooling me? Is she fooling him?
And then my final thought, of course, was yes, I do like the groups among groups. The vampires are obviously going to be all on the same page. They just want world domination. And the heroes are kind of fracturing. Green Lantern has now planted the idea that Batman is a vampire. And he's also kind of Green Arrow, Arsenal, and Black Canary are now kind of hidden away. Like they're completely off the board. They don't trust anybody. They're just running around blood testing people, just stealing blood from Robin, and they got all the other Bat Kids there.
And they found that little bit of blood from the piece of finger from one of the Wonder Twins.
Oh yes, yeah, just enough to prove that he is in the sewers, been blended.
Yeah, so Batman and the other Wonder Twin already know that it's Green Lantern that's done.
Well, they know somebody did it.
Somebody from space, because it's an alien,
right.
And so it's very specific.
It's hard to assume not Green Lantern. I think that wraps up our thoughts. Book number 2 this week was Human Target 3, Tom King and Greg Smallwood. Another great issue.
Yeah, it's been perfect.
This book has been probably the pick of the week every time it's out. It's just the way it is. I think the highlight for me of this issue was Guy Gardner. His interactions with Christopher Chance are just hilarious. They're back and forth. Eventually, obviously, Christopher Chance gets the upper hand, gets his ring away from him.
Yeah, I mean, Mr. Normal Guy is able to hold his own against JLA members. Yeah, I mean, it's a great book. I love the coloring in this one. It's like every page you feel the mood.
It's super retro. Like it feels like a neon bar sign. That's how I would describe the book as a whole.
So, I mean, it moves along really great with their story.
The pacing is quite nice. Even though they're 40-page issues, you never feel like it never drags.
Yeah, agree with that. It's very enjoyable, very nice. I mean, just awesome story. The guy's, again, like a normal guy, and he has some awesome interactions. So.
My final note for this issue that is seeing is Christopher Chance's physical calmness is starting to crack a little bit. He even says it himself when he goes to shoot Guy Gardner. That was completely planned, but the punch was not.
It's his way to just speed things along.
He's starting to crack under the pressure of dying. Just a little bit. The cracks are starting to come through. But yeah, that was it. Next issue is Blue Beetle's issue, so Billionaire number 1. And he's got to interview him.
And yeah, let's not forget, what's the gold dude from the future?
Booster Gold. Booster's Bagels. Yes, don't forget Booster's Bagels.
Great interaction. Yeah, he's a hero that you make fun of, but he means well.
He means well, and he's very powerful, very connected. He may have broken the timeline again.
All right,
That's it. That's all I got for the week. Pretty light week, so we had a couple trades that we wanted to talk about. First one is Berserker, Keanu Reeves and Ron Gardner.
Yeah, just really awesome. I mean, it's Keanu Reeves as the main character.
He just wanted somebody to draw him.
Yeah, and draw him just being a badass. Pretty much 24/7. All he does is just tear things up.
Super violent. Some very amazing kills. I mean, this is not like a zombie book, but he does kill some people pretty grotesquely, pretty uniquely. Shanks a guy with another guy's rib at one point.
He's putting hands and arms through people.
Yeah, he's just obliterating entire tribes of people.
I mean, and the story is great. I mean, his origin story is really awesome. Like, pretty much starting from the dinosaur age.
The big question of, is he a weapon? Is he a person? He's kind of questioning where he fits in to society. Like,
yeah, what is his place in this world? Because all he's been is, just a weapon.
Yeah, he's just a weapon for anybody that. First it's his tribe, and then it's the U.S. government, and probably somebody in between.
Just like every single time somebody comes along and needs my help of some kind, and he just wants to know, is he a god? Because he wants to die.
Yes, he wants to die. Anything else? Yeah, this book's pretty simple, pretty violent, pretty fun. Next book.
Still a great story.
Yes, still a great story. Make sure to pick it up. Final book of the week is Reckless, Destroy All Monsters. Ed Brubaker, Sean Phillips. This is the third Reckless book in the series, and the final one, it seems to be, for Ethan Reckless.
As always, Ed Brubaker does some great stories. It's the murder mystery feel to them, and being able to put it so well into that time frame. We felt the 70s, the 80s, now the 90s. And the colors are great as well of Sean Phillips, and every page is just like something awesome.
Yeah, the book goes down really smooth, really quickly. It's not a book you want to stop reading. You just read it all in one sitting.
Yeah, and it flows. It's a very awesome, fluid book. And yeah, I mean, the stuff that Mr. Reckless gets into, it's pretty badass. And yes. People still want to kill him over the years.
Sean Phillips and his constant headshotting with shotguns. He did it a ton in Kill or Be Killed, and he keeps doing it in Reckless.
Very brutal. But yeah, that's what Reckless is all about. Just tearing stuff out.
And final thing is book 4, expected out in April. Reckless, The Ghost in You. Not Ethan Reckless, though. It's just in the Reckless universe. He's not on the cover like he is the other 3, so it's probably about his secretary getting into her own case. So yeah, can't wait to check that out. A few months away.
Yeah, should be pretty cool. Looking forward to that.
That kind of wraps up our comics of the week. Kind of a light week, as we said. But yeah, we got a few more things before we end 2021.
So we're gonna do our top 5 storylines of what we've read last year.
Top 5 comics of the year. The only requirement is more than half the book had to come out in 2021. So Human Target can't be on the list. Dark Knights of Steel can't be on the list. Batman 1 Dark Knight can't be on the list. There's a lot of books that are coming out that are mostly spring of 2022 that I wanted to put on the list, and there's just not enough there.
Yeah. But next year's list will be awesome.
Next year's list is going to be awesome. But I'll let you start, Franco. What's your number 5?
So I'll start with I like the way the main X-Men storyline isn't that great, but the Inferno storyline's doing awesome things, and I really enjoyed reading that this year. So, Inferno will be on my top 1. I will go for Berserker for second because it's just a very colorful book. I like the story as it goes through.
Super violent.
Yeah, awesome.
It's a good pick.
So Keanu Reeves is a mixture of, like Matrix, Neo, and John Wick. So yeah,
Yeah, it's just Keanu Reeves. It's what he wants to be, basically.
badass there. I'll throw Reckless in there because they're just so good to read. I mean, it's awesome stories, and they just feel so like new and different. Batman the Imposter, again, the art and the story on those, and I'll throw Infinite Frontier because of the huge mashup of different heroes from different worlds, and seeing Batman with the red logo on it.
The final issue of that book definitely brought it up. My top 5 is a little bit different, and I have one honorable mention. My honorable mention is going to be Batman Reptilian by Garth Ennis and Liam Sharp. I just couldn't justify taking any of the other books off. Like, it's good, highly recommended, but the other 5 are better. Number 5, I put Geiger. Super awesome, just like classic comic book action, world building. Feels like a Fallout comic book, if Fallout was a comic book. Number 4, I put Rorschach. Such a great addition to the Watchmen mythos. Tom King, Jorge Forns on that one. Pick that one up. That one just came out in a hardcover. Number 3, I put Batman the Imposter. Probably the best Bat book of the year. I think it is the best Bat book of the year. Hard to compete with that one. Number 2 was Strange Adventures. Tom King, Mitch Gerards. This is their 3rd outing together. And they are just as good every time. Mr. Miracle and Sheriff of Babylon are both also great. And then my number 1, my best book of the year was Reckless, Destroy All Monsters. I think that one was hard to beat. It was such a good way to wrap up Ethan Reckless. And that was my number 1. There's many others that could have been on the list, but...
Yeah, I mean, we just started the show, a few months into the year. So, we'll be looking forward to the new stuff we find this year. So let's move it on to wrapping up the Hawkeye series. Justin?
All right. I'll give it a 6 out of 10. To start, some really enjoyable cinematography. The final episode, episode 6, kind of felt like a comic book in the fight scenes. It's kind of like panning through rooms as they're moving room to room. A couple good long takes throughout the series that were quite enjoyable. And then the final enjoyable thing was Vincent D'Onofrio back as Kingpin. Can't wait to see what he has planned. He's not dead, obviously. That would be kind of a waste. But other than that, I didn't feel like the show had a lot going for it. Kind of generic Marvel, kind of fits into their Marvel formula. The show doesn't have any stakes. Like, I mean, if Hawkeye dies and the people in suits win, what changes? Probably nothing. And I just kind of hope the She-Hulk show is better and gives us some great Hulk action.
Oh, true. That would be nice. But I'll give it 7 out of 10. I like that Kate Bishop gets her moment at the end. It's good building for her. I'm looking forward to whatever she can do in the future with new Avengers groups or little Avengers hero groups. I enjoyed the fights in the final episodes. The fight with Kingpin was good because she gets to do cool stuff, and he is a badass character. What I don't like is that he should have had more screen time, and I don't know. I like him a lot.
I don't care for the tonal shift from Daredevil. I like the gritty, like R-rated Kingpin.
Yeah, I mean, I don't.
He's just a villain that works better as R-rated.
Yeah, but I don't agree how they did. The whole you have him really be the R, and then you put him in here that feels like a PG.
It feels very disconnected.
Yeah, it's like the character should be the same character if you're moving him from one to the other. Yeah, give him less screen time if you can't make him full R. But
right. He didn't feel as scary this time around as in Daredevil. Yeah, Daredevil, I mean, he kills people with car doors, which obviously PG-13 rating, they're not going to do that. But he doesn't feel like he has the eyes everywhere like he did in Daredevil.
Yeah, no, he was just like a side thought here.
Yeah, he kind of felt like they reshot some episodes and added him in.
Which kind of sucked. But now the Swordsman is, proving his worth on the good side, even though he was never bad. And we know who the, villain actually comes 100% out, and 7 out of 10 for that one. It's a series. It's a good series. It's not a movie.
Right. All right, next up, I think we have, what was your favorite not comic book media of the year?
All right, for me, since I've been watching this anime called Evangelion for years, that would be it. They got their fourth movie out, which actually wraps up the series. The creator just said, I'm done. Like, it's over. Like, please leave it alone. Because the fan base is nuts. It's called Evangelion Thrice Upon a Time. And crazy mech fights with, amazing explosions, and the world gets destroyed a few times. And some very dark undertones as well. But yeah, after about 8 years of waiting between the third movie and this one, it's just a great ending.
Was it worth it? Was it worth the ending?
Oh yeah, like 12.
That's all that matters. 8 years, you get the end. All right. For me, I'm gonna go Invincible season 1. I picked up the Condominium 1 from Invincible after watching the show, and it's pretty good. I like it. I like J.K. Simmons as the father, whose name I can't remember. But I enjoyed it.
That was fun.
That was a good one. I kind of forgot. I thought The Boys were this year. They were last year, or 2020, which sucks because that show's amazing. But that show's back.
So yeah,
that brings us into our next segment.
Yeah, New Year's. This New Year's upcoming books. I mean, not books, movies and TV shows.
First up is Peacemaker, HBO Max. John Cena looks hilarious.
As always, I mean, he's just great, perfect fit for the character. We can't wait to see him on TV.
IGN compared it to The Boys, so that is kind of something I hope we see.
Yeah, The Boys was awesome, and talking about The Boys, they're gonna come out this
June 3rd, season 3. Teaser trailer was announced like 2 days ago. It doesn't really show anything, but it just kind of. You see Homelander, there's some pictures taken, and the music kind of climbs, and it cuts. So hopefully we'll get a full trailer soon, as we're less than 6 months away now.
That's pretty good. Exciting. We've also got on the Star Wars side, the Book of Boba Fett, that it's out right now. Well, some episodes have come out, so I'm looking forward to that, and I'll be doing quick reviews on that.
That'll be entirely him.
Yep. Game of Thrones, House of the Dragon as well. Let's hope that they knock it out of the park all the way, not just 3/4 or 8/10 of the show.
Yes, that I mean, it seems interesting that we talked about the trailer on a previous episode. The costume design is drastically different, much more desert looking than winter. I think that was the big change. Not much else to add there.
No, just, dragons.
We also have Westworld Season 4, which is not a comic book, but we're going to be talking about it anyways.
We're going to be talking about cool stuff.
HBO Max has said it is going to come out this year at some point, so within the next 365 days, we should have Westworld some more.
Right, and then some Marvel movie, Morbius, and Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness.
Several shows, She-Hulk, Moon Knight, Miss Marvel, and maybe even Secret Wars or Armor Wars, one of those shows. So at least 4 shows. I think that's what Disney wants to do from here on out, is 4 Marvel shows a year.
Yeah, it keeps us interested and on the hook, but let's hope that we keep on pushing the envelope when it comes to Disney and Marvel and just give us some crazier stuff.
Yeah, I kind of hope they break the mold. I haven't seen Eternals yet. That's out soon on Disney+, so we'll be talking about that. But that they said that movie was drastically different than previous Marvel movies. So hopefully Marvel doesn't see the Eternals as a failure and changes it up a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, give us some more Daredevil and some more Punisher, but keep it the way it is.
Yes.
Let's see. More upcoming things. We got some games coming up. Suicide Squad on the DC side.
Games, yep. From the same makers as the Arkham games. We got our first gameplay trailer. That should be out relatively soon. I think that's like a May or June, something like that.
Gotham Knights,
Court of Owls.
I seem to be interested into that one.
That one's interesting because that one I think it's full multiplayer. So we're both going to have to get it. We'll play it and see what we think.
And then on my end, I've been waiting for this game for so long, is the Pokemon Legends Arceus that comes out at the end of this month. So, yeah, I can't wait because they're changing the gameplay, they're changing core things, and it's just weird. And I like it. It's like Breath of the Wild, but with Pokemon. And I've been waiting. Yeah, it's totally different. So, yeah, wrapping that up.
I think that kind of wraps up this week, yeah. Next week, though, crazy week. Frank, I'll let you begin.
Yeah, I've got Inferno number 4, so let's see how the end of All Mutants happens. 2 Wastelanders books, Doom and Wastelander Star-Lord, which would be awesome, future stuff. Death of Doctor Strange #4, and Dark Knights of Steel 3. Yep.
On my end, we have a week of the Bat. We got Batman 119, Detective Comics 1047, which begins the Mariko Tamaki and Ivan Reis's Shadow of the Bat 12-part series. That'll be for the next 12 weeks, so prepare for a lot of Bat family. And then finally, Arkham City Order of the World 4. This is the issue I've been waiting for, Dr. Phosphorus. In the teaser pages that came out, he's like eradicating a couple that are living. He's like in their walls, and they're just like pieces falling off of
that crazy radiation.
Yeah, radiation poisoning is not a joke, guys.
We're not in Chernobyl for a reason.
Yes. But yeah, that is all I have.
Yeah, that wraps it up for this week, and pretty much wrapping up all from the 2020.
2021 is behind us, and 2022 is ahead. We'll see what it holds.
All right, well, thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe.
Hit the like button and share the video with all your friends.
All right, see you again next week.